What is the offseason without a little bit of drama? You saw today Dan Orloski was commenting about how Ty Simpson is going to be better than Fernando Mendoza and said multiple GMs think the same. I have not heard very many people say that. I've heard people say he's a game manager. I have not heard people say that Simpson is better. I think Orloski is straight cheeks. I can't believe this guy still has a platform to talk about football. He was a horrible pro. If you guys forgot, he didn't even know where his own end zone was and ran out of bounds. Then on top of that, he said Stroud is terrible. He praised Mac Jones, backup quarterback, as the best rookie he's seen, called him the best rookie he's ever seen, and said he would win a Super Bowl with Bill Belichick. He even hyped up Zach Wilson and called him a great talent. He was a failure as a quarterback. He's a failure as a commentator. He does clickbait activity. He wants you just to click and watch his stuff. I don't even think he believes half the things he says. He will have you believing any mid-level or horrible quarterback is elite, and he dies on that hill. He will continuously say a bad quarterback is good until the day he dies. But ask, what has he done? What has he been right about? He is continuously wrong about quarterbacks. Stroud, Wilson, and Mac Jones, he's been completely and horribly wrong with, and he is wrong about Mendoza as well. So let's kind of get into that. Let's debate that a little bit. Mendoza versus the world. So here's the problem. Mendoza's the Heisman winner, the national championship winner, undefeated in 2026, 6'5", 235, sleeper build, has prototypical quarterback size and speed for the NFL. Yeah, he's not a scrambler, but he's your prototype passing quarterback, pocket passer, like somebody that was a Peyton Manning, like somebody that was like an Andrew Luck or a Jared Goff, who are all very good pros and even some of the best, but that's what he emulates. Somebody like Tom Brady. He can read, he has high IQ, he's not the most athletic, but he has enough in him to extend the play, move the pocket, and make sure the play doesn't break down. People forget in the college football playoffs, 8 touchdowns passing, 1 rushing in 3 games. And he beat Ty Simpson. Remember that. Ty Simpson got injured and hurt and lost 38-3 to Fernando Mendoza in the playoffs. It's not even a competition. Mendoza was a 3-year starter, had a 3-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio, and was 25-10 overall. Yeah, he played with some pretty bad teams at Cal, but you saw the athleticism. You saw him get sacked heavily at Cal, and you saw him improve on that with Indiana and get necessary coaching that made him a better player and won the Heisman and became the best quarterback coming out of the NFL draft. Now you got to ask yourself, where would you compare him? If he came out last year, would you take him over Cam Ward? I would. Cam Ward has a higher ceiling, I think, but I don't think he's going to be as good as a pro as Mendoza is. Just because he has a strong arm and he's fast doesn't mean he's going to be a good professional quarterback. I would have taken him over Cam Ward. I would have taken him, I would say, after Caleb Williams, but before quarterbacks like Bo Nix and Michael Penix. Probably in the 2 to 3 range. I think he would be comparable with somebody like Drake May. That would be my assessment. So Dan Orloski is wrong. It's Mendoza versus the world. So let's get into talk about a little bit of Ty Simpson, because Ty Simpson is not your quarterback of the future. He's not your prototypical quarterback. Simpson will get a GM fired. He is only a 1-year starter. That is a recipe for disaster. He's going to get all this hype. He's going to be built up because it's a weak quarterback class, and he's going to get drafted in the first round, and it's going to get a coaching staff and a GM fired because in 2 or 3 years, you're going to realize he's not a starting caliber quarterback. He's going to be average, nothing more. You're going to have to surround him with the Avengers to get him a win in NFL. He's inconsistent throwing the ball. He's not as good as throwing the deep pass. He was completing about 35 to 37% of his passes that were deep balls. That is not NFL caliber arm. He's not super athletic. He's not super big, being 6'1", 210. Then on top of that, he doesn't have a strong arm like Mendoza or Jared Goff or some of these like those Cam Ward. He absolutely struggles under pressure. He had 5 straight games, 5, where he was tackled and lost the ball for a fumble, including the game versus Mendoza. Think about that. 5 straight games. So ball security is already an issue. His arm's already an issue. His undersize is already an issue. But yet we're going to hype him up like Dan Orloski and say, hey, he's a first-round talent. Whatever team drafts him is going to get him fired. So you kind of look at the head-to-head playoffs. The game versus Indiana, he had 67 yards. 67 yards. And came out with an injury and had a fumble. 67 yards, no touchdowns, no sacks, and a fumble. He got knocked out of the game with a rib injury. He's not an NFL quarterback, does not have the NFL size. Then on top of that, if he's taking those NFL hits and getting beat up, he's going to have an injury-prone season and miss games his rookie year. Small quarterbacks like that don't last, especially where they're trying to scramble and get hit. You see somebody like RG3, who is, a runner. You see somebody like Cam Ward. If they're scrambling and they're taking those hits on a routine basis, somebody like Jackson Dart, and just taking those hits on a routine basis, eventually their body breaks down. He doesn't have an NFL caliber body or size, so he's going to break down faster. He gets hit a few times. Welcome to the NFL. I guarantee, year one, he's going to miss a game with an injury. Just watch. So now as far as free agents go. So we got the drama taken care of. We already agreed that Dan Orloski is booty cheeks. We need some depth. I keep saying do not draft a wide receiver in the second round. We have Jack Besh, we have Tucker, we have Nalor, and we have Dante Thornton, who is a 6'4", 6'5", 4'3", 4'4" guy. He needs to develop. Don't draft a wide receiver. Bring on a vet. There's a couple vets we can target. Obviously, we know Brock Bowers is going to be wide receiver 1. That is without a doubt. And then Tucker and Nalor are probably going to be targets 2 and 3. 4 wide receiver spots are taken. If we get a veteran on a team-friendly deal, it'll help our wide receivers, help some of our guys develop, and we can take it from there. Hear me out about Steven Diggs. So, he's a veteran. Helped the Patriots. 7 of the last 8 years, he's had 1,000 yards receiving. We could get him on a cheap 1 to 2 year option, $5 to $10 million, and I think he would be able to help our offense as well as somebody like Mendoza. Yeah, I think he is a little bit of drama. Yeah, he does have the baby mama issues with Cardi B and all that stuff, but he's a veteran wide receiver and helped the Patriots win AFC Championship and get to a Super Bowl. Like I keep saying, that is invaluable. Somebody like Steven Diggs, who played at an all-pro level for the past decade, would be invaluable to a team like the Raiders, our young wide receivers, and Fernando Mendoza. He's still a little bit better than Tucker at this point. I think he would be a tandem wide receiver 1. We can totally afford the $10 to $12 million a year right now. I think that's the route we should go. And if we even wanted to restructure Max or Miller, maybe go after a higher expensive wide receiver, we could. We could do something funny. We can sign Keenan Allen. Remember, he is a Raider fan. He played, he's from the Chargers, probably a 1-year deal, anywhere from like the $6 to $8 million range, probably with some incentives. He had 700 yards last year. He is a possession wide receiver. Like I said, remember, he is a Raiders fan. You always Google that photo of him in the Raider gear and the hat with the in and out just. But he is a good safety valve. He would be a good safety valve for Mendoza. Again, a gritty veteran, knows how to run routes, declining his career, has declined attributes, but he still can get open, create separation, and would be a great safety valve after Bowers, Tucker, and Nalor. If you really want to get a true number 1, I would say that's going to compete with Tucker. The best one available is Jennings. But right now, he's going to get $15 million plus. So we can't afford him right now. He had 9 touchdowns. We would have to restructure some of our deals, maybe some of our lesser players, Max Crosby, or with Colton Miller. But if we restructure some of our lower players, put some signing bonuses, maybe get a couple million extra, or even our bigger players, we would be able to afford him. If we got Jennings on our team, our wide receiver core would not have to draft anybody this year. Thornton would be the 4th or 5th option. You'd be able to run 3 wide receiver sets, spread the ball around, and it would be a wide receiver by committee that's even better than it is now. I think that would be amazing for us. Jennings is going to be my top target. He's been my top target this whole entire free agency. I think we should get him. Again, a $15 million for a guy that will have 9 or 10 touchdowns is elite. He's a red zone threat. He can block well. He's used to winning. and he is a veteran. He grinded from being a late round draft pick to being a wide receiver that's going to get you 7, 8, 9, 10 touchdowns a year. Let me know what you think. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. And always remember, let's go Raiders. Thank you for tuning in for another episode of Raiders Latest. Make sure you tune in on all my socials, the GOAT209.